Hi, my name is Clayton Adams, and I'm doing my tech exploration on the app Proloquo to Go, which is typically used with iPad. So we're going to follow the SET framework here. So under student, what is the area of instructional concern addressed by this technology? So basically, Proloquo to Go is an app that was created to help nonverbal individuals. So it doesn't even have to be a student. It can help anyone that does not communicate verbally. I think this would definitely benefit individuals in a classroom that had trouble communicating, especially verbally. And the most common people in a classroom that use this are individuals that have autism or potentially Down syndrome that are nonverbal. So, what current abilities would a student need to use this technology? Um, the student should have the ability to see. They need to be able to look at an iPad screen. This technology would not be good for someone who has visual difficulties or is blind. They should also have the ability to manipulate an iPad. Basically, they should be able to use an iPad, and they should not be afraid of technology, because an iPad is definitely high tech. So what are the students' areas of needs served by this technology? So basically, Proloquo to Go enables nonverbal students to communicate verbally. Proloquo to Go has students click on pictures and text, and then there's a voice on the iPad that communicates for the student. Kind of similar to when you go look at a text-to-speech software, there's a voice that reads the text for you. So this is similar to that, except there are pictures as well. So now we're moving on to environment. What characteristics of the student learning environment are impacted or required to use this technology? Basically, Proloquo to Go was created only for iPad or Apple devices. I'm sorry, Apple devices. So you could use this on an iPhone or iPad or an iPad mini. It's not compatible with Android devices. Typically, nonverbal individuals who use Proloquo to Go use an iPad or an iPad mini. I've never really seen it on an iPhone. The app itself costs $250, and then the iPad itself can cost around, I think I Google searched iPad minis, cost about $300. So in the grand scheme of things, this really isn't that expensive. I would, if I couldn't talk, I would definitely want to spend $550 to be able to communicate with people. What is the optimal physical arrangement of the learning environment? So basically, students should be strong enough to hold or carry an iPad around with them, and the iPad essentially becomes a part of the nonverbal student or individual, and it must be with them if they want to communicate verbally. So in that picture there, that's what the app looks like. And in order to communicate, you have to actually carry this iPad around with you. So in what instructional arrangement could this technology be used? So Proloquo to Go can be used in a large classroom, small group. You can use it at home. You can use it in the business world. You can use it anywhere in the real world, anywhere that requires communication. Basically, the only issue I've ever seen with Proloquo to Go is that, the volume could be an issue, because if you're in a loud environment, it could definitely be a problem. But in a typical classroom setting, if everybody's quiet, you can definitely hear it. How does this impact the materials and equipment that students and teachers are using? So the bad part about the iPad is that it takes up some space on the student's desk, so it takes away space for that student to be writing or doing something on that desk. And another issue I've seen with Proloquo to Go is that some students can venture off from that app, and then they go to other apps like iTunes, Netflix, Safari, and try to have fun on the iPad opposed to communicating with the iPad. What specific learning tasks are impacted by this technology? So basically, if you have this Proloquo to Go and an iPad, you can get involved in group discussions, answering questions. The student can communicate wants and needs. The student can hold conversations, and basically the student is now able to become an active participant in class. Alright, we're moving on to tasks. So what are key indicators of improvement that are enabled by this technology? So basically, you will know if Proloquo to Go is working if a student begins communicating through the software. If the student gets the software and the iPad and continues to be nonverbal and refuses to communicate through the device, then ultimately it was a waste of money. So behaviors that should decline to show that this is a successful app would be that behaviors such as screaming, crying, acting out, and frustration levels should all decrease when the student begins using Proloquo to Go, because a lot of the time a student that's nonverbal can become very frustrated because they're not able to communicate and get their point across. So what are the key features of the technology? There are a grid of pictures, as you can see in this picture I've posted on here. And there's pictures and there's text underneath the pictures, and the student just pushes that button and the voice will read it. And another interesting thing about Proloquo to Go is, there's a male voice, there's a woman's voice, there's accents, you can change the pitch of the voice, which I thought was interesting. And then it's a really cool app. Alright, tools. How does this tool provide an equitable learning environment for the student in meeting learning outcomes? So Proloquo to Go makes things a lot more equitable. Students will now be able to communicate equally similar to their verbal peers, and they can really get involved in the classroom. Many times nonverbal students are left out and have difficult time participating in activities. So I've seen in classrooms that students that don't have any communication device that are nonverbal, they're just in the back of the classroom being ignored sometimes, or they feel really awkward because they don't know how to communicate, and they just keep to themselves. So what additional tools does the student require to perform in this environment? So basically, if you get an iPad, you might want to get a shoulder strap or a little harness to attach the iPad around the individual shoulder or chest to carry it around with them. Or you can get a case so if the iPad's dropped, the screen doesn't crack and the iPad doesn't break. So that's the end of the presentation. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied and happy with Proloquo to Go. I think it's a really cool app, and it can be used. Anybody can use it. Students, young people, adults. This app was designed not just for students. It's designed to be used anywhere in life and for all ages. So I think this could greatly improve a person's life that is nonverbal.